This presentation is titled "The Rhetoric That Divides in Palliative Care, the HIPAA Law," presented by Dina Lopez for Rhetoric of Health and Medicine on November 17, 2019. Federal government intervenes in U.S. citizens' lives in various ways. Three national court cases that foregrounded such intervention in end-of-life care were those of Karen Ann Quinlan in 1976, Nancy Cruzon in 1990, and Terry Schiavo in 2005. In each of these cases, court involvement was focused on the care of one single individual, but the HIPAA law has been present in all medical concerns in the U.S. since Congress passed it in 1996. Since then, confusion continues to surround privacy for palliative or end-of-life care patients and their families who care for them. There's quite a bit of research on patients in palliative care and their caregivers. Attention is given to caregivers' quality of life in terms of their burden, stress, and physical well-being. For this research project, I set out to study the medical provider-patient-caregiver relationship and how HIPAA privacy laws affect this dynamic when the patient is unable emotionally, mentally, or physically able to make decisions regarding their own health care. Other researchers may find this information useful in medical regulatory compliance studies and their personal lives as well, since the role of caregiver or patient can fall on anyone at some point in life. My search for articles on this topic is centered around the following research questions. What are the responsibilities of medical providers to families during end-of-life and palliative care? How do medical providers respond to family dynamics during end-of-life and palliative care? And what are the ways medical providers cite HIPAA compliance in these family dynamics? The sources for this topic vary throughout the literature. In this bibliography, I include medical journals, legal journals, and two theoretical sources. The theoretical sources are in book chapters, Catherine Gouge, Spirit of Noncompliance, and Wilkie and Farber's 3 Models for Patient and Family-Centered Care. I also found 16 peer-reviewed journals, 4 in general medicine, 2 in gerontology, 3 in palliative and end-of-life care specifically, 2 legal journals, 1 internal medicine journal, 2 nursing journals, 1 Canadian medical journal, and 1 in pain management. The Canadian Medical Journal article I include because it discusses the case of Terry Schiavo and implications for Canada. I have sorted the literature in this bibliography into 3 general categories: legal advice for patients and caregivers, nurses as audience, and physicians as audience. Articles with legal advice for patients and caregivers inform caregivers on the importance of advance directives and suggest that patients empower themselves and their future caregivers by setting up a HIPAA-compliant power of attorney. Articles with nurses as audience discuss studies and seminars on how nurses should respond to family members while they continue maintaining their patients' privacy. Articles with physicians as audience study the physician-patient-caregiver dynamic, emphasizing the caregiver's own physical well-being while they care for their loved ones during palliative or end-of-life care. In 2005, Albert and Levine explored the use of the waiver option in an approach to family caregiver research, which is typically constrained by the HIPAA law. Also in 2005, Anas discussed how the case of Terry Schiavo raised awareness for states to enact living will legislation, and Hampton and Emanuel explained the legal ramifications of the Schiavo case, along with previous cases of Karen Ann Quinlan and Nancy Cruzon. All similar in nature, they maintained that each case was too unique to set a precedent regarding family caregiver decisions. Kaufman, however, argued that same year that the Schiavo case did and does have an effect on end-of-life decisions, discussing the impact of HIPAA and the ways individuals can address its implications by arranging estate planning and advance directives for their family caregivers. In addition to the need for advanced planning, Wager added in 2005 that not only do the lack of living wills and advance directives impact family dynamics, so does the lack of physician-family communication. And Sobel continued the argument in 2007 by reviewing the various ways the HIPAA law affects privacy in terms of individual people, but health information can still be disclosed to prospective employers, insurance companies, and mortgage companies, leading to loss of employment, health insurance, or a home. In Levine's 2006 article, she writes that nurses must often be the first to answer family inquiries, and yet must still remain HIPAA compliant, and argues for major retraining in HIPAA to achieve this balance. In 2010, Bakatas and Bishop presented nurses with several successful models in cancer patient care services, citing one successful model which offers educational seminars for patients led by an advanced practice palliative care nurse. In these seminars, patients learn how to manage their lives in many areas, including family issues. And in 2011, Waldrick and Kosmal produced a study of family caregiver experiences with hospice care from the perspective of a social worker. In a section on implications for practice, the authors state that social workers play a role in educating staff members who disagree with family decisions. In article audience positions, Sherlin et al. Found in 2005 that communications between the physicians and family caregivers may stem from either no communication from the physician with the family or from the way the family caregivers believed they were informed of their loved one's prognosis and care decisions. And Farber et al. Produced a qualitative study in 2003 to research physicians, patients, and caregivers as a connected system in community family practice residency programs in both rural and urban settings. Gelman, Mayer, and Morrison surveyed bereaved family members in 2008 to find out how a family-centered outcome during palliative care will enhance surviving family members' quality of life after the patient has passed away. In the final two slides are citations for all the references in this bibliography in alphabetical order. I have included the PowerPoint in the link in the discussion forum, so you can download these last two slides in case you find any of these citations useful in your own research. Thank you for listening and viewing my presentation, and I look forward to viewing everyone else's awesome presentations as well.